Today we are going to test this LT1083 linear voltage regulator, 7 amperes from AliExpress. This is how much the complete kit cost, $390 plus $310 shipping and plus tax. So we're going to check if this board can really deliver 7 amperes, and we're going to check its minimum voltage output and its recall. So we have 10 ampere diodes here. I just attach this heatsink because the diode gets very hot. And then we have our filter capacitor here. This is just a cheap Chinese 4700 microfarad capacitor. Then we have this one is the output filter capacitor. I think this is 470, yes, 470 microfarad. And we have our resettable fuse here. This is the adjustment potentiometer. So this is our output here. We have our scope probe here. Okay, so this is the minimum voltage output of the regulator, around 1.23 volts, 1.25 volts. And we are using the switching regulator here for the input to the linear regulator. So let's look at the ripple. So our ripple is around 34, 35 millivolt, more or less. It's a little bit higher because we are using a switching regulator. Later we're going to use a toroid here, and we'll be able to see that the ripple will be a little bit lower compared to when using a switching regulator as a power source. Okay, I have set the output to around 12 volts. Okay, so that's around 12 volts. Let's look at the ripple. So the ripple output is about the same. We have a 1 ampere load. We have a 15 volts input to the LT1083 voltage regulator. Now we're going to see if this can deliver 7 amperes. That is 2 amperes. The voltage drop a little bit. 3 amperes, 4 amperes, 5 amperes, 6 amperes. So that is 7 amperes. So we have lost about 250 millivolts. Now let's look at the ripple at 7 amperes. So this is our ripple here, peak to peak, around 57 millivolts peak to peak, more or less. And this is the RMS value of the ripple. So let's increase the voltage input to the regulator if the output voltage of the LT1083 will increase. $16. The output did not increase. 17 volts. Still the same. 18 volts. The output actually increased a little bit. Maybe it's just okay. Okay, the voltage output increase back to 11.75. If we increase it to 20 volts, the output okay, so we have a 20 volts input and a 12 volts output, and the voltage drop to around 11.7. If we reduce it to 15 volts, it increases back to around 11.75 volts. So it looks like the ideal B-in, B-out input for this IC is around 3 volts. So we have about 7 amperes here and around 3 volts voltage input output difference. So that's about 7 times 3. So this IC is around dissipating around 21 watts. So now let's use this toroid here and let's see if our ripple will decrease. So I'm just going to show the ripple, the current ripple around 57 millivolts peak to peak, more or less. I have the toroid connected to the board now. So this is our toroid. This voltage reading here is the voltage output after the rectifier. So the voltage, the DC input voltage to the board is around 26 volts. And we have a voltage output of around 12.2 volts. Let's turn this down a little bit lower, nearer 12 volts. And that should be okay. 12 volts. So let's turn the load on. 1 ampere. So with an input of around 24 volts and a setting of 12 volts, so the output is set to around 12 volts. You can see here on the reading of our electronic load. Let's turn it on. So the voltage dropped to around 11.8. So we lost about 0.2 volts. Let's look at the... As you can see, the ripple is a little bit lower, around 20 millivolts, more or less. But the voltage regulation lost about 0.2 volts. So let's increase the load. 4 amperes, 7 amperes. So we lost about 0.5 volts here. Our setting is 12 volts and now our reading is around 11.5 volts. So we lost about 0.5 volts. And our input dropped to around 19.6 volts. This is the output of the rectifier. This could be because we have a small capacitor here. This is only a 4700 microfarad. Maybe if you use a bigger capacitance capacitor, maybe 22,000 microfarad. I have now attached a 22,000 microfarad capacitor in parallel to this. Oh, what happened? Smoke. Looks like the IC died. Smells really bad. So this is it for the LT1083 7 amperes voltage regulator from AliExpress.